Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. I hope everyone is doing okay after the Candace Owens episode. I hope check on your family and friends. Check on them. I hope everyone is okay. Check on your family and your friends. It is a very tough time right now. I just hope, my wish is that everyone is okay, that you are practicing self-care, that your mental health is good, because we're heading into the holidays, and I know that was very, very hard for a lot of people to get through. So my wish, my hope is that you are safe. I hope you're safe wherever you are. I want you to be safe, and I want you to be warm, and I hope you have a blanket and a pillow. And if you have to go into a fetal position, you have to do it. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in it. Actually, there are several books that say it's really good to do. So that's where I'm at with that. I hope everybody can just get through the day-to-day. It's tough. The day-to-day is tough. We got an economic collapse. We have a pandemic. We have political instability. But there's also podcasts. So my hope is that we're all doing well. Devin Costa and Ida are with me. He's a very attractive girlfriend. They've been car shopping with me. Well, you're attractive. I know women don't want to hear that anymore. They want to hear that you're...
I love hearing it. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. All the women want to hear now that they're going to be Margaret Thatcher or something. And I don't even mean politically. I just mean that they're all going to be accomplished. But it's nice to be hot. Trust, it's a nice thing to be attractive. I don't know how that got flipped somehow, that's actually not good, or someone should notice that. Mm-hmm. Don't notice me being attractive. They've been out here car shopping with me in the desert for the past few days. How many dealerships did we go to yesterday? Like 7?
I think 7, yeah.
Yeah, and we went to Beamer and Mercedes and Range Rover. We just go to all these dealerships. I don't really know what car I'm going to get. I want to get a lease, and I don't want to spend that much money, but I just am addicted now to car salespeople. I can't quit them. I want them all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's such a weird sale. You walk on the lot. It's like anything else. They got to be your best friend within a minute. Mm-hmm. They got to turn it on. And some of them do and some of them don't. Some of them just really don't.
No, the Range Rover people.
The Range Rover people
Not great.
act like you're doing the wrong thing. They act like they're doing you a favor. And now I'm trying to get a Range Rover and I have no credit, and it's a whole problem. And this desperate fuck who's trying to sell me the car. First of all, I took a road test. Think about this. I looked at a Range Rover. I don't have a license. The guy thinks he's selling me the car. I got to tell him afterwards I don't have a license. I don't have a license. So I got to take a road. You know, this guy called his wife. He's like, I got a good prospect. He's interested. His friends are here. They love the car. And, he went in and told the sales manager, he's like, hey, Bob. And he's like, Alan, what? I can't take any more money off. He's like, no, Bob, I got a guy. I got a prospect. He's just got to take his driver's test. You go, Alan, will you get the fuck out of the office, you fucking piker? He's just got to take a road test tomorrow. That's it. But Bob, he loves the car. Bob, I did good. Alan, why don't you go home and cry to your wife? He went home and he sat with his wife, and his wife's like, so you think that you're going to get any of these off the lot? And he's like, I got a guy. And then he's like, but he's taking a road test tomorrow morning. And she probably just looked at him and goes, Jesus Christ, Alan. Jesus. So now fucking, Alan looks like he's going to kill himself. So Alan looks like he's going to kill himself. So we go into, because I'm too fat for every other car. I've sat like 9 of these cars. They're like wedging me in with plungers. It's crazy how small these cars, they're all for Europeans. They're all for Europe. This is the fattest country in the world, and very little is made for fat people in the high end. It's like, or even the mid end. This is not really that high end. It's whatever. But it just isn't like Rolls Royce or whatever, but it's like a nicer car. And a BMW, you have to buy the sedan. Like, I can't fit in anything but the old dentist sedan, which I don't want. It's the only thing I fit in. I can't fit in anything else. Imagine me and Ray Kump in like a mid-size BMW. I mean, it would be absurd. You have to call the fire. You'd have to get the jaws of life to get Ray out if we went somewhere for lunch. Listen, call the fire department. I want a taquito. So Alan, I'm like, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to get the fucking car. And Alan, first of all, Alan, you know he's in trouble for this. He puts sold and my name on the car. I don't have a license. And my credit, I have one credit card for $800. Alan puts sold on the car. You know he's being reamed out for that. Like they take him in the back, they go, you're coming before you're even inside of her. You got this guy's name on the car. This fat fuck doesn't have a license, and he has no credit. Yeah. He's talking about Patreon and ad revenue and that he just sold out some shows in Dallas. What are we doing here, Alan? Alan, we're trying to deal with real rich people. And I'm fucking, so he put sold on it. We go back, like, I give him all the credit information. And then, here's the way I live. I just give him the information, and I go out and have a butt. And I know what's coming next. Like, I know what's coming next. And by the way, it ain't the keys. It ain't the keys. This ain't a rap video. Nobody's throwing the keys like, hey, partner, drive it off the... I know what's coming next, and it's a lot of pain. So Alan comes out, he goes, hey, you've never had car credit. I said, yeah. The last car that I had, I bought cash. I spent $10,000 in 2007 on a 1999 Chevy Suburban, the one from Patriot Games or Clear and Present Danger. I called it the executive vehicle. It's the one that Harrison Ford drove. A woman named Gloria at Suzuki 112 in Patchogue sold me it somehow. Oh, I think I got a loan for that. They got me a loan for that one, I think. Now, that was repossessed. Okay, but I don't want to go into that, but that was repossessed because I remember the towing company called me and they go, it's going to cost, you have so many liens, you have so many problems, so many tickets, you're going to have to pay a certain amount of money to get this out of Hawk. And I went, congratulations. And they said, what? I said, on the purchase of your new Suburban. And I hung up the phone, and then I just didn't have a car for 11 years. For 11 years. Hey, so the problemo is that, so then Alan walks out. Alan, at this point, looks like his son was just killed in Iraq. He's going, hey, he goes, so then the manager comes out, the sales manager comes out, he goes, all right, he goes, I just did a deal for a Russian gangster who just he just paid all the lease payments up front. I go, well, that's not going to happen. So how about let's pretend we're dealing with a non-Russian, non-gangster. Right. How would we do that? Like, he's trying to be cool. All these car guys trying to be cool. Yeah, I just did a deal with a Russian gangster, and he just sold a house for $28 million. And I'm like, hey, none of that. Calm that the fuck down. Take that testosterone down. Put a finger in your ass, stimulate your prostate, and get in touch with your femininity. Because none of that hard cock shit is going to happen right now. I don't know what movie you saw where you think I'm going to throw a bag of money at you and drive, like, what do you know? You better let your wife fuck you tonight. You understand, Alan? You're getting fucked tonight. Tell her to put on the strap on. Tell her you're trying something different. Say, I want to get fucked and come from my prostate tonight, honey, so I can better understand how to put together this deal. So the sales manager there goes, hey, I'm going to work real hard on this. They didn't hire me for my good looks. And I'm like, they didn't hire me for my good looks. And Alan goes, they didn't hire me. And then we just both look at him like, will you shut the fuck up, you fucking piker. You fucked this whole thing up. I shouldn't even be here. So now Chase is Land Rover Financial is like run their bank is Chase. So he goes, well, you have an account at Chase, so this should be easy. I'm like, I actually think it'll be much harder. I would prefer the bank to never have met me and have no idea who I am, what my spending habits are, or that I even exist. So then Alan's trying to get the deal. My business manager, God love him, he tries. He really does try, and this is not a shark, right? But he's also representing me. He doesn't have a lot to work with, right? So he's calling these. It's the hopeless here. I mean, it's just a bunch of hopeless people.
The Three Stooges.
It's the Three Stooges on a conference call trying to put together this deal that I'll. But I'm into it now. I'm like feeling it. I remember because this is the mortgage days. I used to go and go, listen, man, I got a real good. Like I remember I was trying to. Howie, who I talk about a lot. Howie was one of the most cutthroat meaning dishonest and immoral people I'd ever met, but he was also very bad at sales and didn't know anything about the products. Was completely uneducated, but only succeeded by his ability to lie in circles. Like, have you ever met somebody who lies in circles to the point where you have now bought into some of their lies and you have to help make some of their lies true unless you're a liar? It's actually a great strategy. If you lie so much and get people to believe it, they are now they're like, well, I can't go down with the ship. Yeah. We got to somehow right this wrong, figure it out. Howie used to do that all the time, right? So Howie used to try to refinance these homes. They were called modular homes in like South Carolina because he would call up these retards. And no offense if you live over there, but not everyone there's bright. We would call up these people, and they own modular homes, which means it was driven down the highway on a flatbed truck and put in the dirt.
Yeah.
Now, modular has a foundation. It has a concrete slab. It has a foundation. So now Howie would also just try to refinance double wides that could be driven away, and the bank doesn't want to lend the double wides because you could just say, hey, later, hey, this didn't work out, I'm out of here.
Right.
So Howie would then lie and say it's a modular, and it's clearly a double wide, and then Howie would then claim the borrower lied to him, and then the sales manager, so he'd go into the office, he'd go, listen, he goes, I got a good one. It's a modular, it's on a foundation, I've done all the homework, don't worry about it, it's all fine. And then they would find out, they'd send the appraiser out. The appraiser would go, this is a double wide. And Howie would go, this is not a fucking double wide. I'm telling you, these people are honest. And then the people don't even know what they live in. Like, the people don't know what they live in.
Right.
They don't know the difference. They have no idea. They're more honest than he is. So, like, and I used to go in with deals that could never get done. I would walk in, with some shitty deal, and I'd be like, hey, man, listen. They want $500,000, but they've paid back. They have a Kmart card that they've paid back, and it's got $1,200 on it, and they've paid that back every month. And they'd go, the sales manager go, all right, we'll try to get it done, man, but this is nothing. This is literally nothing. So that's what Alan's doing. He's like, this guy's a comedian. He's on the Joe Rogan show. And they're going, Alan, I swear to Christ, if you don't bring a real buyer in here, I swear to Christ, Alan, we're going to put you on the street. And he's like, no, this guy's on the Joe Rogan show. This guy's a comedian. He's funny. And they go, Alan, I swear to God, this is the third. God only knows who walked in there before me, like who he walked in before me, Yeah. And so this poor guy is trying. I mean, we're trying to put this together. And we're going to find out tomorrow. At the end of the day, like, he looked into the expedition. Like, Alan, he looked at me, he looked at you guys, he goes, I can't tell you we're going to get this done. And this is not even fake business. I want the goddamn car. He goes, I'm not going to tell you we're going to get this done. He's like, but we're going to try. We're staying extra late tonight when the banks open up tomorrow. That's fun because, by the way, the banks aren't even involved yet. The bank... Think of all the problems we've had. The banks aren't even in it yet. They get in it tomorrow. Like, they're probably talking to, like, some underwriter or some processor, and they're like, hey, got a guy, he's got the money, his credit sucks, he wants a lease, you write it off, whatever. But I feel bad for Alan. I hope this comes through because of Alan.
I hate Alan.
Why do you not like Alan?
Alan sucks. He should have. He was not a good car salesman. It was the first place we went to. He did nothing. He comes out. He's already out of breath the second he walks and sees you for the first time.
Right.
Doesn't offer you anything. Nothing. Which you.
Ida loves a cappuccino. She wants to really get.
We're in a luxury car dealership.
Yeah.
Devin made a good point. He's like, what do these people lose by putting in a fucking coffee machine?
Yeah, I mean,
What do they
Navigator
lose?
gave you a cappuccino. The people at
They
Lincoln.
did.
People at Lincoln Navigator
Much
gave you a
nicer
cappuccino.
couches. But then you made a great point too about how when you have a certain level of money, you
Yeah.
don't need any of the shit.
The guy looks at me at Navigator. He looks at me. The guy goes, "They call it the land yacht." I wanted to turn around and look at him and go, "I have COVID."
Everyone.
You guys, they call it the land yacht. I wanted to look at him and go, "Hey, man, I just tested positive for coronavirus."
Nobody at Lincoln wanted to show us the cars. They were just handing it off to like
Dude, we
anybody
call
around.
my aunt. We call my aunt's worked at like 4 car dealerships. They've all fired her. She didn't know anything. I'm like, so tell me what kind of car to get. She goes, I don't know about BMW. She goes, what's the middle one? I'm like, do you know anything about your business? Do you know? I said it's the 5 Series. Do you know anything about your business? She goes, yeah. She goes, well, they fired me at Mercedes. She goes, they're good cars, but they fired me. And now she's working for Jaguar, and she goes, they're going to fire me too, I think. They just fire her because she doesn't know anything about the cars.
Yeah.
She like doesn't know. None of these cars. And then there's a sad little guy in Bentley. This sad little British guy is like, hello, Mr. Dillon. And I'm like, I'm giving him the number I can pay every month. He's like, we can't, Mr. Dillon. There's no way that's going to happen. I'm like, I know, but is there any way we could just finagle it? And he's like, Mr. Dillon, it's not going to happen. It's a different league. He keeps telling me. He's like, it's a different league. It's Bentley. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I know it's completely unrealistic. I'm not getting a Bentley, but I've been there like 3 times in the past week. So I'm like, is there just any way? He's like, I like you as a person. It's like, I like you. This is how crazy it is. It's like, I like you as a person. But he's like, I can't. He's just this little emaciated, small guy.
They all sucked so much ass. I mean,
Austin was sweet.
they all sucked
Tony
so
at
bad.
BMW was cool.
He was cool.
He was cool because he's like, hey, I got pulled over in my Hellcat doing 100. He goes, hey. He goes, hey, I had my kid in the car. Like, none of them care about anything. He's like, I had my kid in the car. The cops know who I am. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm trying to go home. Doing 100. So what? I said, the BMW 7 Series is big. I'm like, it's the only one I fit in. But people say it makes me look too old, if you buy a car like that and you lease a car like that. He goes, hey, fuck him. I bought a Cadillac Eldorado when I was 24 years old. I'm like, all right, Tony. Well, that's...
He kept telling us to take our masks off.
Yeah, he goes, take
was
your
like,
mask
please,
off.
take your mask off.
Dude, Ben, tell us what Alan said. We're sitting in Alan's office as he's putting together this doomed deal.
I don't know you guys' politics, but you Republicans or Democrats? Because I listen to OANN.
Yeah.
And I go, they got suspended on YouTube. He goes, yeah, because they tell it like it is.
Yeah. By the way, they got a deplatform for, I think, pumping a fake coronavirus cure. They're selling an elixir like gypsies outside of a tent carnival, and they got deplatformed for that. So that's where they're at. He goes, you watch one of... I thought it was like a joke. Like, he's like, you watch One America News Network? I'm like, everyone's full Q now.
He's like Q. He's full
This is how retarded he is, so I'm trying to curry favor with him. I go, hey, Todd just texted me from Sherman Oaks Bentley. Can't wait to meet you. I'm like, I'm not coming in. I cannot afford this car. So then this guy goes, yo, you watch One American News Network? And I just said, I've had Candace Owens on my show. I wanted to try to curry some favor. Like, let's chop a little bit off the price. We give Candace a platform. Even though she's got 3 million 3 million subscribers, dummy, she's platforming me. I'm not platforming her. Is anyone think with their fucking brain? She gets more views on a fucking Instagram Live than my show. Whatever. So we tell him that. He goes, I've heard the name Candace Owens. Like, he doesn't even know who like, she's too mainstream for him. Yeah. He's like, no, if it's not on if it's not on OAN, which Rogan called the QAnon network, he's like, if it's because a guy like that comes home all day tired from not selling Range Rovers and needs to watch OANN to buy the fake coronavirus cure. He's ponied up some money for that.
Yeah.
Then the guy at BMW was trying to book you shows. He was like, I could get you in at Bubbaloo's. I know a guy.
We get you Bubbaloo's. He goes, I usually recommend bands. I could recommend you. You ever do Bubbaloo's? I'm like, no. Thankfully, I've never done Bubbaloo's, sir.
Then we went to a Chevy dealership, and the working class guy told us that we had been getting lied to by everybody.
So the working class guy, Alex, walks out. He's one of these working class guys. I respect that, but he has a wife, he's probably got a house, he's got money, but he's like, he walks out, he's got like a, a hat, cold winter hat, and you can tell he's probably bald. And he's like that tell like it is guy. He's like, hey, man, look at the MSRP. Look at what you're paying. He's like, you're getting fucking hosed. So we go back in a Range Rover, like, why are we getting fucked? And they're like, no, it's this, and this. And we're like, all right. Like, we totally get backed off. We sit in a Yukon Denali. It's a piece of shit. Alex is like, it's a car.
He didn't try to sell it at all.
No, he goes, it's a car. Like, that's their attitude. They go, yeah, it's a car. You want it? It's a truck. You want the truck? They all these people hate their lives.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And you did all that with no driver's license.
I had no license. And today we show up. Ben shows up, again trying to destroy me. Me and Ben, we've had a rocky couple of weeks.
We're fine.
Well, I know we are. And because me and Ben have no other options but each other, and we know that. We really know that.
So true.
There's nothing coming. There's nothing good coming. Okay? Better tell your wife I'm here to stay. I know she's got some fantasy of you producing Kevin Hart's podcast, but the reality is, how's everybody feeling? You feeling good? It's a podcast. You feeling good? Is everybody feeling good? No, none of us are. None of us are. You could go out there and do it. In many cases, you can't. It's just
You're echoing Kevin Hart.
yeah. It's just like I'd love to go out to dinner with him and just be like, "What are you even saying?" I love him. He's great, but I mean, he's got a line of financial products with Chase. I mean, he's a planet. Imagine
Chase.
my line of financial products with Chase. Like, hey, this is Tim Dillon. Chase currently has bounty hunters trying to find my address. But I've got a line of financial products that I'm trying to sell. But it's good. He's trying to create financial independence of the black community. I'm all for Kevin Hart. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Hart. But it's just funny thinking of his podcast, because what would that be? Like, podcasts don't work if it's like someone who's like, hey, except the WW Bro podcast, which is my favorite podcast.
Yes.
Thank you. Now it's all off YouTube. We appreciate that. But they don't work when it's just relentless positivity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those work in like short bursts.
Yeah.
You can't do that forever.
Yeah,
You
no.
know? Poor Alan is sitting home right now.
Fuck Alan.
He's sitting there. He's probably drinking. What's he drinking? What does a man like that drink?
Scotch.
Scotch?
Cheap.
No, he's trash. He's not drinking scotch. No.
He might drink
a guy
some.
Like that is
He
drinking
might
a
drink
Coors
like
Light.
Grant's Scotch, like a cheap brand of Scotch.
Yeah.
J&B.
Maybe. He's sitting there and he's going, "We got a good deal cooking." He goes, "Honey, we got a good deal cooking." She goes, "What? Let me guess. The guy finally got his license?" "Yeah." So what's the problem? Did you close the deal?" "No, he only has one credit card for $800. She goes, "Let me ask you a question. How do you look at yourself in the mirror?" How do you look at yourself in the goddamn mirror, Alan? Thank God I'm barren and infertile. Because imagine if we had kids. Imagine if kids had to stare at your face every day. I think I'd kill myself and them. I think I'd drown them in the bathtub, Alan, if they had to grow up looking at your loser face. They're putting a deal together. It's going to work. Trust me, it's going to work. You said that the last 9 times, Alan. I had to borrow money from my mother just so we didn't get thrown out of this house. I lied, and I told her we both had COVID. I hope it works.
He doesn't know how to read bank statements either, we found out.
Of course he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Tim's gotten like 1 million calls tonight.
I feel like I'm negotiating the fucking stimulus package in Washington with Nancy Pelosi. It's just the first car I've ever had. I've totaled 5 cars. My father had a Mitsubishi Galant. I totaled that. I totaled 2 Ford Focuses. I totaled my Suburban. But they totaled it. It wasn't really me. They were like, well, we could fix this, but. And then I'm trying to think of the 5th one that I totaled. I don't know that I totaled it, but I got in a car accident with my mother's Econoline van. I love, by the way, the people that made the Ken Owens episode. Somebody wrote something really good on that I reposted on my Instagram story. They're like, this guy has a history of schizophrenia. He's a drug addict. He doesn't have credit or a license. Who is getting their news from the show? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people find things to be interested in,
Yeah.
but the idea that like anyone's getting their new, or the idea that I didn't push back. People are like, well, I think you could have pushed back more. I pushed back a lot. If you listen, she would say something. I go, but what about this?
Right.
And then she'd go, nope. And I'd go, okay. People wanted me to do what Rogan did with her, which was just like they got up to climate change and he goes, listen to scientists. Listen to science. He just said that 90 times. Like, why don't you believe the scientists? And she's like, I don't know. I don't believe science. And then he's like, well, why don't you? And she goes, I don't know. I just don't. And he goes, why not? She goes, I just don't. So that's cool to create like a cool little viral clip. I got more out of her than he did.
Yeah.
My interview is, there was a wider range of topics that were covered in my interview than his. Mine was an hour. His was 3.
Yeah.
He did a great job, and he created that moment that kind of went viral, the SmackDown moment. But I have no interest in that. I don't care. It means nothing to me. You can't be like, oh, I'm for, open exchange of ideas, and then try to shut someone down and destroy. And then everybody's like, have a communist on for good measure. What do you think this is? What do you think this is, like, governed by the FCC? What are we doing? I've had people on the show. What do you think Whitney Webb's like a flag-waving Republican? She thinks the American government is a terrorist organization.
Yeah. And you've been trying to have Chris Hedges on for over a year.
Yeah, try to have all these people on.
Yeah.
I'll have Abby Martin on or whatever. But the whole thing is this. The show is usually me. That's the way the show's going to stay. Me and him. Me and Ben. It's not going to be the news hour with Tim Dillon. That's not going to ever happen. And Candace was just funny because we had talked about her. I have a joke in my act about her. We made shit in videos about her. It's funny to have her on. But this idea that they're like, well, you need to find a communist just to keep everyone happy. Why don't you fucking relax?
It's a bit that came to life.
It's a bit that came to life. She came on. She did her spiel. What am I supposed to do? She goes, I said, I think it's harder to be black than white. And she goes, no, I don't think so. I giggled. I giggle at that. What do you want me to say? You want me to go, well, I bring up the suburbs. I'm like, the engine of wealth creation is the house. And the idea that white people got loans for homes that made them part of the middle class. How about that? She goes, no.
It's a class issue.
Yeah, she goes, no. And I'm like, it is a class issue. She's not wrong. She's not totally wrong on that. But there's some overlap there, a fair amount of overlap when you look at race and class. But most people loved it. Most people were like, oh, this was fun. It was great.
Moving on from a topic is not like compliance or like agreeing with it. You're just like, okay, what am I supposed to fight a crazy person?
Show in America. I don't have the biggest podcast in America, and I don't have 3 hours to go back and forth with this woman on one topic.
I mean, I think they were just mad that you didn't, scream at a black woman that you invited on your show.
They're mad that I didn't scream at her, and they're mad. They're like, she's backed by Turning Point. Who cares?
She's a cartoon character.
Don't agree with her, or like, what do you care? She's a shill. Listen. What do you think it is here? What's left in this country? We're in the ruins here. I mean, this is over. I've said this 9 times. What do you want me to find some honest person to have on? What are you, nuts? The bitch has millions of fun. Aren't you curious as to why Trump got more minority votes than any other Republican? It's like, something's catching on. The black conservative movement is interesting, even if you think it's ridiculous. She's the biggest voice in it. She's the biggest, but she's a shit. Exactly. That's why you talk to her.
Right.
But what about the people that are deadly serious who no one listens to? Get them on. What's the point of that? It's crazy to me. Most people liked it. No one cares.
No.
No one cares.
I wanted so bad this week to open up with singing Christmas carols with Diamond and Silk, the other 2 black conservatives, and the Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson. Can you play where the Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson said to Gavin McInnes? Get the Gavin McInnes Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson interview up. It is the funniest thing I've ever heard. Jesse Lee Peterson.
Part about I know what you're talking
Jesse Lee Peterson makes Candace Owens look like Michelle Obama. He is so absurd.
He's nuts.
He said the craziest things I've ever heard. I mean,
Give me a second to load it out here.
but it's so funny what he says to Gavin, because it's amazing to have Gavin McInnes be like, wait a minute, that's a little racist. And Jesse's like, no, but it's not. And then Gavin giggles because there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go.
They're like racism hype men, you know?
And then people are like, she just said Republican talking points. So what's the problem? Right. She just said boilerplate Republican. So what's the problem? Does CNN get shit when they have Ted Cruz on? No. Who has real power?
No, that's discourse.
Right. That's discourse.
No,
that's
that's
exactly
discourse.
right. So it's like, what was my problem?
No.
They wanted me to call her the N-word.
The problem is that Ted Turner doesn't own your show.
They wanted me to call her the N-word and be like, I'm going to go, hey, you blank. You're a big blank.
Trying to load it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's the
People really expect, like, if you're going to look good, that interview is supposed to end 30 minutes in with her, like, storming off Zoom and you, you know, having some big moment where you fought, like, a crazy person that's just, like, a grifter making money. Like, what are you...
To me, that makes me look like an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes me look stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not. That makes me a screeching lunatic like the rest of these people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get wound up. I don't care who comes on my show. You could come on my show and be like, I think gay people should be put in gas chamber. I'm going to laugh. I'm never going to get wound up
Right.
at your insanity. I'm just going to giggle and go, yeah, okay, cool.
Right.
Again, unaffected. Not affected by you.
Right.
Unaffected.
Right.
But nobody knows how to do that. Let's listen to this.
All right.
2018 in America. Does racism exist?
Absolutely not. And it has never existed.
Whoa!
It has never. It's
Whoa!
a made-up word.
What about the picture in the 60s with the German shepherds on the black guy, the civil rights movement, and the cops, and the guy like that?
Well, that's because you were having protests. Whenever you could have a protest today, and if people go out of control, you're gonna see the same thing. It was just a protest. And you're hearing this from a man. I grew up in Alabama. I grew up under the Jim Crow laws. I went to an all-black school. There were signs that says for colors only, for whites only.
That sounds pretty racist.
Yeah. But it wasn't racist. It was a law that was brought about by the Democrats. And they brought that law into effect, and it separated people by law. But yet, most blacks and whites got along. They knew that all white people were not against black people. It was a law, and people just obeyed the law at the time. And when I was growing up, I had to pick cotton. The guys were taking out...
You were born on a plantation.
Have you ever picked cotton?
No, sir.
You have not lived until you pick cotton.
You're being too controversial for me. You're going to get my show taken off the air. It's fun to pick cotton.
It's fun. It makes a man out of you.
Really?
You know, I said once on my radio show that because most blacks are so lazy now, because of the government taking care of them, and then a lot of them are born with single mothers only in the homes, and the mothers don't make them work. I said, I'm going to go to Alabama, buy some land, create a plantation, and I'm going to take the blacks back down there to show them how to work and be independent and earn their way. And all hell broke loose when I said it. Oh, he's for slavery. He's for that. But I knew what I meant by that.
Right.
And so when we were growing up, the boys would be taken
So,
out of school.
as you can see, the Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson is, I mean, you think Candace is bad.
Yeah. Wow.
So I really wanted to have, let's say I had like $5 million as a bit. I would just every podcast have another black conservative for the next like 2 months.
Yeah.
Like I'd have Diamond and Silk, and then the next time I'd have Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson, and then the next time I'd have Coleman. Like I would literally just keep doing it just because people get so angry. And then I'm going back on Twitter with like Vic Berger and all these people who like, you know, poor Ryan Phillippe, because he's a fan of both like the Heidecker crew and our show. You know, he was just probably sitting there just watching Twitter. Like, he's like, what do I do? Who do I side with? I'm just gonna, what is he, what's the show he's on? Big Sky? He's like, all right, just plug Big Sky. Yeah. I'm gonna watch this from afar, but let's plug Big Sky. I don't even know what that show's about. What's Big Sky? By the way, God bless Ryan Phillippe that he always works.
It's about like people cheating on each other in Montana. It's like Desperate Housewives Montana, I think, or something.
Yeah, Ryan Phillippe's like, I just see a lot of consternation, a lot of anger on the timeline today. A lot of people that I like listening to are very angry with each other. I just want everyone to watch Big Sky on ABC. What does he play, like a cowboy? He's like, I play a cowboy.
I don't know.
Ryan Phillippe's like, I just like watching fat people yell at each other on Twitter.
Here's the premise. Private detectives Cassie Duell and Cody Hoyt joined forces with Cody's estranged wife, ex-cop Ginny Hoyt, to search for two sisters who have been kidnapped by a truck driver on a remote highway in Montana. But when they discover that these are not the only girls who have disappeared in the area, they must race against the clock to stop a killer before another woman is taken.
Now, let me tell you, what sounds more interesting, that or me talking to the Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson, who's definitely not a reverend. Like, you know for a fact, Jesse Lee Peterson is absolutely not a reverend.
And so Ryan Phillippe plays a troubled former cop who runs a private detective agency with his partner, Cassie.
Here's the thing with Ryan Phillippe. He's kept his looks. These guys that just keep their looks, you know, they work. We saw Richard Lewis the other day in his car. I mean, he looked like he was exhumed from a casket. Like, he looked like he was dug up and put in a Mercedes. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Me and Ben stared. We're like, is that Richard Lewis?
It was great.
He looked like
He was smoking butts in his car.
He looked like
Like in a sea
long-term
room.
COVID patients where they show a photo of someone who's like, this is why you wear a mask.
Yeah.
It was Richard Lewis.
Ryan is 46. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, he's probably, you know, he's got a trainer and he probably has all the Hollywood. You know, they all take injections of like, you know, not of baby's blood, relax, QAnon, but of like, what do they take? Like a good,
HGH.
what is it?
They take
It's not
HGH.
HGH, something else. Whitney takes it,
gotta
Rogan
be
takes
HGH.
it. They all take this thing.
It's whatever the new one is. It's probably some sort of steroid. But also, men just age better than women.
But Reese Witherspoon looks great too.
She does.
She looks phenomenal as well. Her husband, Jim Toth, they just ran that $2 billion Quibi experiment into the ground. Not a good call. We all knew that wasn't going to work. Dude, Katzenberg and Meg Whitman, they're coming out giving an hour-long presentation going, hey, so the only thing that's different is when you turn your phone, you can watch it both horizontally and like that was that was the crux of all the new technology into this. No, it never stops. It just seamlessly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. Also, no one wants this.
You go to the shows that Quibi had on their YouTube, they had like 43 views. Like, nobody cared whatsoever about
Dude,
anything.
it's so embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. They were going to have like 7-minute. They wanted high production value content in 7-minute. You were gonna watch, and it's like sad because Reno 911 is like such a good show, and it was the new seasons on Quibi. You know,
Yeah. And they had like a great clip, like a really funny clip about like the black
Nick
kid
Schwartzen
drowning.
told me like they call Schwartzen, the whole cast. Quibi has the whole cast on the phone. They call Nick Schwartzen. They're like, "All right, surprise, we got the whole cast of Reno on the phone." He's like, "Oh, good, great." They're like, "So are you in for the new show on Quibi?" Nick's like, "Oh no." He's like, "I don't want to do that. We already did that. I don't want to do that." And they're like, "Well, we got the whole cast and the producers. Everyone's on the phone." Nick's like, "Oh, hi guys. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it at all."
Good choice.
I remember we were on our way to Whitney's once. He was in a car. Whitney's like, pick up Nick Schwartzen. I'd never met him. I picked him up. He walks into 7-Eleven. He comes back out. He's like, "Oh my God, this is ridiculous. I have to wear a mask?" I'm like, "Yeah." Then he walks back in with a mask and a lit cigarette and has to walk back out. He's like, "Oh, whatever. I just got yelled at again. I was smoking." Then we walk into Whitney's house, like a big house. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's such a nice house." You know, Spade had never seen it. Spade's like, "Oh, that's a nice house." Nick Schwartzen goes, "Oh my God, what are you, Liberace? This is ridiculous." He goes, "This is so stupid." He goes, "This is so stupid." I'm like, "Yeah, well, you know." He's like, "Whatever. You live out here with mountain lions? That's stupid."
What are you looking at, Ben?
I'm trying to figure out how celebrities look younger, and apparently the secret is sleep, actually, is what everybody's saying.
Plastic surgery, lip injections, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot more than sleep because Philippe's tweeting all the time.
It's also, let's be
That
honest,
guy's
makeup.
tweeting all the goddamn
He's
time.
up like at 4
He's
a.m.
up all the time just tweeting.
Drink lots of water, fruits and veggies, diet, sleep.
Makeup, foundation.
Dude, I wanted to do a
concealer.
bit because we were going to have him at our Friendsgiving. I wanted to do a bit where he got in and me and Ben corner him and ask him for $40,000. Like we would just take him in a room and we go, "Hey, man, we know you're a big fan of the show. oh, and we have this really good idea that we want to make. Can you give us $40,000? And then like see if he would do it, which obviously he would not do it, but just like make it real serious, like make it deadly serious.
Yeah.
And then just laugh in the middle of it and go, dude, we're fucking around.
We got to get the 40 grand first.
Yeah, Ben's dumbest idea ever once. We were making a dumb little sketch. We needed like a Golden Globe. And he goes like this. He goes, I'm like, how are we going to get a Golden Globe at this hour at night? It was like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
He goes, hey, ask Ryan Phillippe to ask Reese Witherspoon if we can use her Academy Award or Golden Globe, whatever the hell she's won. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Can you imagine that call? Hey, Reese, how's everything? Anyway, so I listen to this fat guy and his friend. They do a podcast. Occasionally they do sketches. They need a Golden Globe. Like, can you imagine that call? We pull up to Beverly Hills or the Palisades, wherever the hell she lives. We pull up and like you just see like some servant walk out the statue and they're like, have it back in 2 hours. Like, thank you, Reese. I did a great bit about her where it's like eventually celebrities are going to just start buying projects to show that they're woke. And like just kids are going to be like, yeah, I live in the Reese Witherspoon houses. They're just going to start buying like projects. Yeah. Yo, I live in Jennifer Aniston court, son. That's just hard. They bang. And by the way, the accent I'm doing there is Jewish. I'm not, you know what I mean? They also lived in ghettos. Have you not read your history? I have. Candace Owens got some money. You see that rock?
Huge.
Mm-hmm.
Massive.
Her husband has
That's the
some
only thing
money
I care
too.
about.
Look up her husband. Who's that guy? Some British guy?
Some British guy.
Man, she went hardcore white, huh?
Yeah.
She married fucking Legolas from Lord of the Rings.
Some British prep school guy, I believe.
George Farmer.
What's his deal?
Let me see. Let me look into him.
Dude, I wonder if I'm getting this car. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dude, what if we see Alan walking on the side of the road, just like Michael Douglas and falling down? He has pit stains. He's screaming. We just pull over. We're like, hey, man, what's going on? He's like, your son told me I don't credit.
He's holding the soul sign.
He's like, I lost it all. I
right.
just give him a fake business sweatshirt.
George Farmer is an Oxford University graduate and a hedge fund employee. He graduated with a first in theology. He went to the prestigious public school St. Paul's. He was previously chairman of Turning Point UK.
Oh, boy.
And he's also
Do you know who George Farmer's father was?
Who?
George Floyd. We're kidding, folks. Rein it in.
Yes,
Oh, he went to
that's
Oxford?
pretty much him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got real cash.
Yeah, he's got money. He's just the British version of her that they backed, and then they.
Correct.
I wonder if they just told them like, "Hey, you guys just have to get."
Turning Point
in a
casts
fake-
these people in the same way that like AOC is kind of cast by the Justice
Sure.
Democrats or any of them, and they
Greta
just want
Thunberg,
young,
too.
Greta Thunberg. They just
Yeah.
want young, attractive people. Nobody like Ray Combs out there making points. Listen, inequality has reached sky-high proportions. You know it's good chili rellenos. I make good deviled eggs and chili rellenos. Anyway, the proletariat. Like no one's letting that happen. No, they got hotties. They got hotties.
They got engaged 3 weeks after they met.
What?
Yeah, because
Wow.
it's called
It's a business deal.
It's a business deal, and good for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got knocked out. Maybe it was a shotgun
Maybe.
because she's pregnant and she's 8 months pregnant.
Oh wow,
yeah.
interesting.
When was her wedding?
So they met they got married August 31st, 2019, and they met December 2018.
When's her baby's due in like soon?
5 weeks.
Man.
So do the math on that. Do you think?
So she announced her pregnancy 3 days before the wedding. It looks like sorry, a week after the wedding.
Okay.
That she was 6 months pregnant.
Well. Oh.
So she admitted it before.
So they met in December, got pregnant in April. Quarantine baby.
Because basically she can't run around and be like all these single mothers.
Right.
Because that's her whole thing.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
This is what people wanted me to do on the episode, by the way.
Yeah.
This is what people wanted me to do on the episode. Be like, Candace, let me ask you a question. Did you marry that guy because you didn't want to run around yelling at single mothers while you're barefoot and pregnant without no man? You ain't got no man.
She's doing 5 weeks.
Yeah, but she was already engaged, I guess, when they got pregnant. So I guess, is that fair to Christians? I don't know.
I guess.
No. No, the Lord our God has said that if you are not in the lawful and loving bond of marriage, you shalleth not layeth with the turning pointeth.
She just doesn't want the kid to be black.
Well, Devin, that was Devin. That was at Devin Costa. At Devin Costa on Twitter, not me. At Devin Costa. I mean, that's.
Did
that is out
we
of
hear
control.
her views? Or?
Out of control. Alan's like, what if? Alan's like watching OAN. He's like, they stole the election. Now they're stealing my deal.
That's so funny.
Kamala Harris, you can't sell any fucking cars anymore. Dude, what if we've ruined his life? Like, what if we've ruined this man's life? Like, his life might be over now.
It was already over.
Wouldn't it be funny if, like, I just can't get the deal and then they just sit? Because it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of like, I wonder if I'm going to fucking, I wonder if I'm going to.
It's interesting he put sold.
I'm just interested. I'm interested to know, like, how much give is there and are they going to let me do it? But it'd be interesting if he goes like this, like, if they call me tomorrow and they go, all right, you're denied and we can't make it happen. And then they go to Alan and they knock on his door and they go, and he like, no, like, you know, at the end of Donnie Brasco when Lefty's putting his jewelry in the fucking dresser because he knows he's about to get whacked. He just knows he gets the call. You wonder if like Alan gets the call. They go see the sales manager, Alan, and Alan knows. Like he takes his Range Rover cards, he puts them in his pocket like he knows, you know? And then he walks in. The guy doesn't even have to fire him. He goes like this. He goes, hey, Alan. I got some friends at Chevy you should go talk to. Why don't you go talk to somebody over at Desert Ford? You know, Alan, I've been sticking up for you for a long time. I like you, Alan. But you put sold on a car for a guy that didn't have a license or credit. Alan? Alan, you got to go. And, you know, so he goes, I know what I did. I know what I fucking did. I did it for you. He starts going nuts. I did it for this dealership. I did it for this company. He takes his mask off. The secretary's like, please put your mask on. He goes, shut the fuck up. I'll take my mask off. I did it for this company, and I'd do it again. I'd do it again. And he just walks out, and he's just walking down the street in Palm Springs, spitting, he's drinking. He just throws a bottle of fucking Ripple. He's drinking Whip Ripple. He's drinking Boone's Farm. He throws a bottle.
Yeah.
Me and Ben see him in our rented Expedition, and we just like cover our faces and just drive away. He's like, hey you. Hey, you. He's like, you want a Chevy? You want a Ford? You want a Ford? He just walks in. He walks in the Ford. There's all these families like looking at cars. He just takes the bow. He rips one of the bows off the cars. And he just puts it on himself. He's like, Merry fucking Christmas. It's fucking Alan. Then 2 weeks later, he walks back in a Range Rover. He just walks back in a Range Rover. He's like, hey. He goes, hey, I really let my emotions get the better of me. And I just want to know if I can have another chance. And they're like, Alan, we can't put you on the floor. You know, you fucked that deal up and then you screamed and yelled. You know, you had a mental breakdown in front of everybody. It scared everybody. There's people in therapy right now because of what you did, Alan. There's people that are seeing a counselor. We had to bring in a counselor because of what you did, Alan. And nobody can really think about that, you know? I mean, it's very hard, but, you know, it's even uncomfortable having you here, Alan. He goes, yeah, I know. And they go, how's things going at Chevy? He's like, well, I got a guy interested in a Suburban. And they go, who is it? He goes, remember that comedian? They go, Alan, again? He goes, we're going to make a deal happen for this guy. They go, Alan, the guy's a liar. He's not a buyer. And Alan goes, all buyers are liars. And they go, we know that, Alan, but you can't let this guy follow you from dealership to dealership, ruining your life. And then I go, and the Chevy Suburban deal falls apart. And then they bring him in. They go, hey, listen, man, we just didn't get off on the right foot. I don't feel like you're not in a good headspace right now. And then Alan just fucking goes home. He looks at his wife. He goes, I'm out of the business. I'm out of the car business. And then he starts podcasting. And it's the most brilliant thing anyone's ever heard. It's just rage, pure unadulterated rage. A working man who's just passed over, a man who believed in others, even when they didn't deserve it, you know? And he just gets so successful, so big. He just becomes like a massive, he has the biggest car podcast ever. He's Alan the Car Guy, and he's on YouTube. He has millions of fucking subscribers. He's Alan the Car Guy. You know, people are like giving him some fucking like huge sponsorship deals. You know, people at Land Rover reaching out to like, hey, we're really sorry about what happened. I mean, could you say a few nice things about the new autograph collection? And then I was like, yeah, maybe I'll think about it. You know, he just becomes this massively successful guy. Or he kills himself. I don't know. But that uncertainty is exciting for Alan. Because he has to make a choice now. Sure, he could sit at home and watch OANN. Blame Chuck Schumer.
One American News Network.
It was so funny that you pulled up to your driving test and like drove over the parking curb.
Well, first of all, let's talk about the driving test. We show up. Ben's horn does not work in his car. So the driving guy goes, the horn doesn't work? I'm like, no. He goes, I can't take you out in this. I go, can we come back later today? He goes, yeah, you got to come back after 2. Then Ben shows up, and the thing is on E. And I say, Ben, you're on E. And then Ben goes, you have 90 miles until you're empty. Just tell them that. And I hit the wall, and I said, Ben, they're not going to give a fuck. I am showing up to a driving test with a car on E. That is the most insane, irresponsible thing you could do. They're going to look at me like a fucking psychopath. It's not fair. And then Ben just smirks. I was just like so angry because he just did this little smirk. And then we just had a moment where we didn't get along. We did not get along for a moment. There was a drive. There was yelling. I was hitting the dashboard of the car. I was very, very upset.
It was like Raising Arizona when John Goodman is like, just when they remember they forgot the baby.
Yeah.
Because it's like men like me and Alan are just forgotten by this world, and we're just trying to, you know. And then we finally get gas. Ben gets me a mask. I'm like, I'm sorry. I apologize. I did not mean that. Did not mean to yell. He's been sober for 2 years. I called him a drunk. I'm like, you fucking drunk. I'm like, you fucking drunk. You show up. You show up with the car on E, you fucking drunk. He's been sober literally 2 years. Yeah. Like, you're a fucking drunk. All you do is fuck me over. Dude, it was real old school, like 80s shit. Like 80s rage.
Yeah.
I was like, when I get rageful, I go into like 80s mode. I'm like, you just fuck me over, man. All the fucking time, you drunk. But finally, the guy got in the car. Nice guy, bald guy, got in the car. And he was just talking about New York. I'm like, I'm from New York. I'm like, hey, man, the economy sucks. Sorry, the car's not nicer or whatever. He's like, don't worry about it. I start doing like folksy, like, you know, do a little he's a big guy, do a couple of fat guy jokes. I go, are we going to Sonic? He goes, I wish, man. I'm like, good, lay it in thick here. Because, you know, I really don't know how to drive in the sense that, like, I don't know what the rules are and I don't obey them.
No.
Not at all.
No, I've never have. I just like the freedom of the road.
Yeah.
Oh,
know
and
what
so
yield
people
is.
aren't confused here, too. At the DMV, you need to bring a friend who's an insured driver and use their vehicle for the driving test. So I have to be there.
Correct. I should have called Rogan. I could have went, hey, man, how's it going? Anyway, are you going to be in L.A. recently? And do you mind driving me to my driving test? Joe, do you mind driving me to my driving test? What, ma'am? You have a license, ma'am? I'm not doing that. Fucking nuts, man. Are you fucking nuts, man? Joe, do you know Alan at Range Rover? That guy's fucked, man. That guy's a piker. He can't sell shit. He wastes his time with deadbeats. But
You passed.
At least you know what yield.
you could just see
means now.
tomorrow, like Alan's trying to sell that car to a cat. Look, Oscar's in there.
A cat.
Oscar and him are watching OWN, OANN.
Smedge the cat.
Smudge Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so we do the test, and I'm just like being folksy and fun, and it's like make a laugh, make a right, stop. It really is not hard. It's really not a difficult test. It's really not.
Yeah.
I was panicked because I'm like, I haven't done it in years and everything. Not I'm driving legally for over a decade, but I hadn't.
We had to practice.
Yeah, I'm just completely unaffected by the law.
Yeah.
But then we had to practice. I finally did it, and I passed. And he goes, "You did a great job."
Did they make you parallel park? We were like
No.
all
We
worried
were
about that.
worried about
Dude,
whether
there
or
was
not we
no
should promote
parallel
that.
parking. There was no pull up to the curb. There was none of that.
No
He
honking
knew
of
I
the
was a good
horn.
driver. Devin nailed it. When he goes, "You're not going to kill me at the right." I'm like, "Dude, I've been a driver for years." I'm like, "My license just expired in New York because of COVID." He's like, "Oh, okay." So as soon as they know you're a driver and you're older, they
Right.
get it.
Yeah. It's embarrassing.
You know,
They don't
like we're
wanna sit
driving
next to
around.
you.
He goes, "What's the best thing about New York?" I'm like, "The restaurants, man. Every different nationality." He's like a Spanish guy. I'm like, "Every different nationality of food you can get." And he's like, "And they're open late too." I'm like, "Yeah, they are." I'm like, "You could get jerk chicken. You ever have jerk chicken?" He's like, "Nah." I'm like, "That's like fucking real good Jamaican chicken. It's hot." He's like, "I'm a desert rat." I'm like, that's what he said. Because I'm a real desert rat. I'm like, "I like it here too. I'm a desert rat too." We're just driving around the desert. Two desperados. Two men whose society is cast away. Alan will be giving that next week. Alan will be doing tests at the DMV. Just giving driving tests. Make a left. Make a right. Drive me to CVS. I got to pick up my prescription. You drive me to CVS. The kid's like, "Is this part of it?" You're like, "Yeah, it's fucking part of it. Shut the fuck up." Dude, he has a Range Rover shirt. They're like, "You used to work at Range Rover?" He's like, "Shut the fuck up." "Hello, Tim. It's Austin from Bentley. I'm having a lot of problems with the information. None of the credit is coming back what we need. What's going on? Please call me back. What's happening? Are you going to buy this car or not?" I mean, what do we think? What do we think? Let's all take a vote. What do you think happens? Do they find a way to make this deal or no?
I think they do.
Honestly,
Devin says, "I think they do." Ida, yes.
no.
Ida says no.
I
Devin
would
says
assume
yes.
The importance of credit, but
I say no.
Ben, I'll always remember that.
not
I will always.
Because your bank always fucks you. I've never seen someone's bank or like
Oh,
phone
right.
fuck them more than you. It's weird.
I will always remember that for the rest of my life.
I just said no too.
Doesn't matter. You've worked with me for years, and for you to just go straight negative like
No,
that.
it won't be a failure on your behalf. It'll be a failure on your business manager and your bank and Alan
and Alan.
if this doesn't go through.
Well,
It's all Alan's
If it was
fault.
up to you, I would say yes, 100%.
I need to get on the phone with the bank. Explain to them what's going on. "Hi guys, it's Tim Dillon. Let's not get nuts here." That's my favorite thing to say when things are not going well in the deal. I go, "Let's not get nuts. Let's just focus right now. Let's focus in." Are we focused? Doesn't feel like we are. Let's focus in. We got a boy. He wants a car, and it's for Christmas. He wants to pay. He wants to pay you for the car, and you're telling him no. You're saying no because he didn't pay back other things a bazillion years ago. Have you heard of Jesus Christ? Oh, you work at a bank. You haven't. Okay. Anyway, have you heard of Moses, the burning bush?
I think you will have an option to buy tomorrow, though.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I'm not doing that.
You're not going to do that?
Who the fuck wants that?
It's insane.
Let's one lease and get it over with. I'm a good risk.
I'm a good risk.
I just want a goddamn person to look at me and say you're a good risk. It doesn't matter that you had cars repossessed, you took out a $700,000 loan and didn't pay it off, and you spent a decade without credit, working shit jobs, living in an underground economy, and you're surviving on your wits and cash, and you became a comedian and didn't, pay any of these fucking large institutions back. They wrote that shit off. It doesn't fucking matter. Watch Too Big to Fail. I'm a good risk, and I just want someone to kind of reach across the aisle and say to me, hey, we believe in you. We believe in you. Is that too much to ask? Is it too much to ask for another human being to just say, I'm not going to let your past actions define your present? I feel like somebody who just got out of rehab, whose parents don't trust them. That's probably 80% of the people listening to this show right now. You know who you are. You get out of rehab, your parents can't give you cash anymore. They start giving you gift cards. Little do they know you can sell them. But that's what it is. I feel like a junkie who just got out of rehab who has a gift card. I used to get those gift cards. They were like, we can't give him cash anymore. All I'm ever trying to do, all I've ever been trying to do, and this is really, and I want people to understand this. I truly want people to understand this. All I've ever wanted to do on this planet was help myself. Okay? Is that such a crime? Is it such a crime that all I've wanted to do is help the guy I look at in the mirror every day and make his life a little better? My friend Michelle goes, I adopt a family for Christmas. I go, I've adopted Ben. I've adopted Dan. How many more families do I need to adopt? She's like, well, you should adopt a family from another country. I said, well, what are they going to produce? I'm going to bring a 6-year-old Guatemalan here and try to do QAnon jokes and have him giggle? Get real. I am kidding. I am doing charity work. I'm doing charity work this year for the great charity called, and I just read about it, and I really like what they're doing. It's called Turning Point USA, because I want to help. You understand? I'm doing a lot of charity work. No, let's all do let's do a charity this year, Ben. What are we going to do? What charity do you want to do?
How about the families of Sandy Hook, maybe, so people can't be mad at us for maybe past behaviors?
What are we going to do for them? No one will take that seriously, Ben. Ben, if I start blasting that on social, I'm trying to help the families of Sandy Hook, I'm going to get fucking killed. Are you out of your mind? Sometimes I think he really is trying to do me in. Can you imagine if I start tweeting that? Hey, guys, I'm going to try to help the families of Sandy Hook.
Privately donate. Should we public?
Private? What am I going to reach out to them privately? Hi, this is Tim Dillon. Don't Google me. Hi, this is comedian Tim Dillon. I've never appeared on any podcast, so don't put my name into Google. Anyway, I mean, it's great. They'll think it's a scam.
Oh, man.
What do we do? What charity would be good?
I mean, I don't know any specifically. You could give money to Yemen or something. I don't know.
How do we give money to Yemen?
How do we do that?
I don't know.
You can't even. There's no relation. You can't send. I'm sure there's some sort of. I don't know. COVID relief. People that have lost
COVID
their
relief
jobs,
is going to be funneled into a company that makes ankle bracelets for people. That's going to be COVID relief, by the way. Put the bracelet on.
And donating to housing cost stuff in LA doesn't help them. They don't build anything for the homeless, so I don't even know how to help them.
Yeah.
You got to give people shit directly. I realize all the third parties ruin everything.
I gave a guy $7 the other day in a car, a homeless guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just got to donate to Nithya.
No, I'm not doing that shit. I do want to help. I do want to do something good this year. I do literally want to do something good. It's the first year I've had a little bit of money. I actually want to go get toys for kids or something.
Yeah.
I want to get toys for
I did that once,
family.
actually.
What did you do?
With my Uncle Stan.
Yeah,
It wasn't
stop?
my
I
idea.
was gonna say.
But we did. We showed up to the children's hospital and gave kids toys. It was kind of amazing, actually. Yeah. I felt really good about myself
Show
afterwards.
up with you know who. We've got toys for the children. I'm out of prison because they couldn't really get me on anything because I'm innocent. I'm here for the children to give them toys.
Maybe help with rent relief with people.
How do we do that?
There's got to be some organization.
Maybe
set
if
up.
you're struggling, you should just, I'll hit you on Venmo.
Yeah, if you did that on Twitter, people would
Yeah.
love that shit.
But here's the thing. Here's my rule. I only want to really help people that are genuinely
Right.
struggling and it's going to be a lot of trolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
True,
just think
can't
you
do it.
get trolls and you can't.
And you can't really make people go through like an interview process to like see if they deserve
No,
it.
but if people are genuinely struggling, I want to help those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There are ways.
There's got to be ways,
organizations.
dude.
There are
We're gonna
ways.
we're
into
gonna
that.
do that because I do want to do something in all seriousness, but I don't know what to do. You know? And I do want to do. I even think even better than money is to kind of, give people kind of, sometimes the what for a little bit. Like I think people need a little bit of a talking to. You know? Like who need a little bit of a pep talk. You know what I mean? Like I could give you money, but what we could also do is you could DM me and tell me you're struggling. You know what David Tepper did? Hedge fund guy, real sociopath. Some kid emailed him. Kid was like brilliant. He goes, I just want to go to college, man. I just want to go to college. I have all these fucking things. My family doesn't have the money. And David Tepper responded and goes, he sent him an email back. He goes, I'm going to give you exactly what was given to me. Nothing. And he wrote him a whole email. Gangster.
Wow.
But that's kind of like, I would give the kid the money. I have like a big heart like that. I would just give the kid the money. I'd just go, hey man, I'm just going to pay for your college. You know, if I was in the position to do that, I'll just pay for some. I'd tell them not to go to college, start a podcast, and be vulgar. But if they didn't want to do that for whatever strange reason, I would try if I had the money, which I don't. But what I would like to do is like pay for people that are genuinely struggling to help them.
Yeah, we should do that.
I don't know, probably starting with Alan. But I mean, Ben, can you find out ways to do this?
Yeah, I'm sure we could do some sort of charity live stream thing even to raise money for people over the holidays,
Oh, yeah.
like on YouTube or something.
What if we did a charity live stream where we sell tickets and just donated it? But there's so many costs you can incur.
Well, we can do like as much money as you guys give in the stream, we're going to give then to a charity.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a live stream on YouTube, and we're going to try to raise money for, like a good organization, like Stop the Steal. What if we gave all the money to Tina 40, that psycho? Can you pull up Tina 40's Twitter, please, and just play any video she's ever made? What if we gave her like $40,000?
Tina 40?
Yeah, Tina 40 on Twitter.
It's loading. Is she the QAnon lady?
Yes.
Just play any video?
Play anything she's ever done.
You're being raided by the fucking sheriff's department, okay? This tiny little place trying to make a fucking living, okay? 350 people on an airplane, thousands of planes, okay? This close to each other. Costco's open, Home Depot, people lined up, backed up with each other. This guy can't open his fucking business. It's shame on you fucking people. Shame on everybody for letting this fucking happen. There should be 1,000 people out here right now when they're getting fucking raided by the goddamn Gestapo. Tomorrow is
I agree with
Wednesday
this.
at 6
Yeah.
o'clock p.m. I want this fucking
That's not
city
Tina.
shut down with 10,000 fucking people. Because if we don't show up,
Where's
Just some video
Where's
she
Tina
shared.
40?
Here's another video. Here's a video of her.
Yes. This is who we're giving you money to.
Okay, so let me start off by saying, fuck your vaccine.
Is it not loading?
Yeah, it's the Wi-Fi.
This
Just
woman.
like I refuse to wear a mask, not happen. Okay? What happened to her?
No, forget it, Ben. Forget it. The fucking desert.
That
You
was
get
gonna be
the-
good,
You get
though.
the idea. It's another Ben Avery special. It's another Ben Avery special.
I sabotaged the Wi-Fi.
It's another Ben Avery special. It's a Ben Avery production. It's a Ben Avery production. Things aren't working by design. But we're going to give, I think we raised a lot of money for Tina 40. That fucking nut. She's a real nut, man. Well, we've had a lot of fun on this episode. We'll let you know tomorrow about the car. We'll update you. I don't know what's going to happen. I probably won't get. I'll probably just have to keep renting cars at Enterprise. Rent a car. Just rent all these cars and smoking them. Who gives a shit? No smoking. Yeah, fuck you. Who gives a fuck? Devin Costa, Ida, go follow them on their social media. Go follow at Ben Avery is good and DM him. Tell him what an ogre I am and how horrible I am. I know you do that all the time. Don't worry.
That all the time.
Don't worry. He'll DM you and be like, I know. He'll get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. He'll get back to you and tell you how bad I am.
That's right.
He'll be like, I know. You know, his wife, he lays in bed with his wife. He goes, you know, they all reach out to me and they tell me what an ogre he is. That's because he's an ogre, Ben. That's because he's a disgusting ogre. And they know how much he abuses you. He goes, they all could reach out to me and they tell me that I shouldn't take it no more. And then I go message them back. I say, it's okay, thank you. He's really not that bad. You know?
Last night you blamed Ben for Rogan leaving YouTube. You're like, you fucked me again, Ben.
Yeah, because my Rogans are all off YouTube now, and it's because Ben let them make a deal at Spotify without getting involved. It's another Ben Avery special. Where were you on that deal at Spotify?
I really dropped the ball here, Tim.
You really dropped the ball.
Bad.
You dropped the ball.
I feel bad.
The Range Rover guy, not Alan, the sales manager, he's like, hey, how famous are you? I'm like, not that famous. He's like, I've been on Rogan and I have like Instagram followers. It was like 280,000. I have a blue check mark. He's like, that's good. He's like, I can take this all to the bank. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that'll mean, but good luck. Good luck, man. Like, yeah, I'm more famous than other people, I guess, that you deny. The British guy Bentley calls me. He's like, all right, good news. The people that were coming in to look at the Bentley truck were denied full credit. So it's not going to last very much longer. You can come in now. Good news. The couple that was coming in to buy the Bentley truck, their son just died of an aneurysm at college. He had a blood bubble on his head. Anyway, it was completely unforeseen. They had to go and deal with that, which means that I've got a beautiful Bentley truck right here waiting for you. Would you like to come see it? I mean, these people, the demonic forces. I mean, it's just a rough racket selling cars, you know?
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a rough racket walking around a lot, just going, yeah, yes. And nobody knew about mortgages either when you were selling mortgages. Nobody had any clue. Salespeople genuinely don't know what they're selling. These people walking around the lots, they're like, yeah, rev that engine. Start that engine up. That car's got an engine in it. I'm like, what is it, V8? He's like, V8, V6, V10, V12. I'm like, what? He's like, listen to that sound. Dude, we'll end this episode doing this. Alan sat in the car with us and started blasting the sound system so loud, like rap music, that all of Range Rover were so disgusted by this. They were like, Alan, you can't, to make a sale, you're just putting yourself you're giving them too much. You're putting yourself, so I said it'd be great if like Alan, like we started to do like a fake rap video. Ida took her tits out, she was on the car. Alan went into the sales manager and goes, listen, they're musicians. They want to see how it would look in a rap video. So we're making a little rap video. Alan just throwing up gang signs. I just got her tits out on the front of the car. We're just fucking blasting music. We're smoking weed. We're smoking weed in the car. We're like, yeah, man. Alan's like, they just want to see what it would look like in a music video. We're shooting a music video, and then they're going to buy. They're going to buy. He's the type of guy that just gets fucking, I mean, life just takes a big old shit on him, and I hope they don't. I hope that this works.
What a life. He just reads Q drops in his office and just waits for someone to walk in to sell a Range Rover too.
Hey, man.
To not sell a Range Rover too.
I got to be honest with you. Sounds pretty great.
That's the life.
Sounds pretty great. Goodbye, everyone. Good luck.